Good morning. Welcome to your gentle flow and your deep stretch practice. As you can see here, I have 2 blocks. So if you can grab 2 blocks, that will aid you. And we're going to start off in a supported fish pose, and I'll go into that in a moment. And also, if you can get your mat close to a wall or a piece of furniture, so it could be a chest of drawers, it could be even your bed. And I'll talk you through it whenever we get to that part. It could be a couch, right? It's just anything where you're going to be able to prop your foot at one point with when we do some stretches and stuff towards the end. So there you go. Set up your blocks. We'll start off with our shoulder blades, kind of like our upper middle back resting on this shorter block, and then the back of your head will rest on the taller block. Some people don't use the back block. I do. I don't really love for my head to hang down, so I will show you. And if you want to cue up your music right now, go for it. Yeah, it's all good. That way you don't have to mess with it later. The playlist is Juniper. All right, y'all. The way we're going to start this, so I've got to kind of find my spot. And if this second level of this block is too high, bring it all the way down flat, right? It's totally fine. And then you want it to kind of allow for your shoulder blades to kind of span across it. And then you're going to move the second block accordingly. You might lower it down as well if you lowered the first one. So my upper back and my shoulders tend to be, the joints are very loose, they're hypermobile, so all of my fascia and the musculature work overtime, and so they tend to be very tight. So you might just come here to start and extend your legs forward. This is where we're going to center. This is where we're going to open ourselves up. So I want you to find a space where you can really let yourself kind of melt and wrap on top of that block that's in your upper middle thoracic spine area. Yeah? You could close down your eyes. You can relax your jaw, wiggle it from side to side, and then just let it completely go. So you're not holding on to anything. Good. Begin to focus on your breath. So the natural inhale and exhale that occur in your body. And then maybe you start to deepen your breath. Moving into Samavriti Pranayam, which is your even inhale and exhale. They match both in duration and intensity. And so as you breathe in, you know that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know that you're breathing out. Be here for a couple of minutes. So if you reach a point where you think you can go deeper and you want to do that, you can adjust the blocks. I want you to do so carefully, slowly, mindfully. Maybe you decide to bring the soles of your feet together. Let your heels come in towards your sits bones and your knees hang comfortably open. So you're in a butterfly pose while you're in your supported fish pose. So you're definitely going to feel more of an opening. Let's just be here and breathe. Notice as your chest begins to open. have the butterfly legs, you might feel the knees getting closer towards the ground, even if that means that they're still not close. Getting closer. Maybe you turn your face to the right, come back to center, kind of turn it to the left. Don't overdo it, just kind of feel out what's happening in the sides of your neck. You might even feel it in the traps. And notice if your shoulders started to really creep up towards your ears, and can you allow yourself to roll them back down? But for those of you who do other kinds of activity, like physical activity, so a lot of strength training, this might be pretty uncomfortable for you, right? Also, those of you who are on your computers for a lot of the day, sitting at a desk, typing away, driving, are countering all of that daily habit kind of stuff that causes these shoulders to round forward and a collapsing of the chest inward. Can your breath get a little bit deeper here? I don't want to get all hippity-dippity woo-woo on you and all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes as you are here for a little while in these spaces that are tight, especially around the chest or the hips, it is not uncommon to experience an emotional release, right? If that happens, I invite you and encourage you to let it, to not hold back. Allow for that stuff that is stuck inside of your body to exit, to release. So from right here, keep everything else the same, but as you inhale, reach your arms out and up, like kind of like a V. And then as you exhale, swim your fingertips back down towards your feet. Now if that's uncomfortable, skip it, right? If it feels good, do it a couple more times. Inhale. So as your upper back is pressing into the block, that might feel awkward, and then exhale. Just see what happens. Say one more inhale. You might have to kind of cactus your arms if you are up against like your wall or something like that. And then as you exhale, really do make a goalpost with your hands and float them off of the earth for a moment. And feel the stretch across your armpits, your underarm area, all that, your chest. Do one more inhale. And bring your elbows in towards the rib cage, your fingertips towards your feet. As you exhale, roll your shoulders back and down, lift your chest. Let the arms relax and rest down on the earth. Let's take one more inhale right here. If your knees are opened out, slowly bring them up. And let your feet come down to the ground, your knees are bent. I like to bring my elbows down and kind of roll over to one side and then slide the blocks out from underneath me. Okay? And then I do want you to slowly come back down to the ground, go flat. Extend your legs long for a moment and get reacclimated here. Okay? So slide your shoulder blades underneath you ever so slightly. Let your hands come down by the side body. Good, y'all. Just breathe. And then on your inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Take a full body stretch. Roll your wrists and your ankles out. And then as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. You would rock side to side for a moment. And then bring your feet down to the ground, hip width distance apart, as if you were going to set up for a bridge pose, right? And then you're going to hook your right foot behind your left ankle. So I just hook your foot behind the ankle so that you can let your right knee splay open out to the right. Okay? And then your hands can just rest. You're allowing for your right hip, your inner thigh to kind of naturally stretch out open. You've already been in your butterfly pose, possibly, so this might not feel that intense. If you need a little bit more, wiggle your right foot over towards the left side of your mat. You might feel this more now in your glute and in your hip. Your left hand could even come down and catch your right ankle, but don't force it. Just let it happen and relax your shoulders back and down. Breathe. So allow your attention to focus on your breath and not anything else. Take 3 more breaths right here. Take 1 more inhale. Softly release the hand from the foot if you took that. Slide your right foot back out and extend both legs long for a moment and just feel the difference you might notice between your right and your left leg, your hip, whatever, what have you. And then bend your knees again, bring your feet down to the ground. You could windshield wiper your knees from side to side for a moment if you need something like that, yeah. Come back to center. Now slide your left foot behind your right ankle. Hook it, and then let your left knee just splay open. It might not come all the way down to the ground, but it might, right? I definitely feel it more on my left side because of knee issues and things like that. So I'm going to be gentle here. But if you need more, you might start to slide your left foot over towards the right side of your mat. Your right hand might drop down and catch your left ankle. Just continue to let your left hip open, yeah? Relax your shoulders back and down. Try to take the low back flat. Just open up through your left hip flexor, like the hinge of your hip. Take 3 more breaths right here. We are going to move this, not this particular shape. We are going to move today, but just opening up nice and slow this morning. Taking our time. Now if your hand caught onto your ankle, slowly release it. Slide your foot closer towards the left and then slide your left foot out and bring your left foot to the ground. Low back flat. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side if you need it. Come back to center, hug your knees and towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins, relax your shoulders. And then you can roll to the side or you can go into your spinal rocks and rolls. Take maybe 2 or 3 of these. And then come forward into your box pose, so all 4s. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Your knees underneath your hips. And then spread your fingers out nice and wide. Now on your inhale, let a soft belly drop down towards the ground. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And then on the exhale, navel to your spine, dome out your upper back. Good. And then you inhale the belly down. Let your heart press between your upper arm bones. Lift your gaze. And then you exhale, belly up. Tuck your chin and let your tailbone tip down towards the ground. 1 more just like that. On the inhale, find your cow pose. And then as you exhale, your cat pose. Neutral spine on your inhale. Grab your blocks and bring them to the top of your mat. So I'm going to slide my little blanket out of the way. So here, we typically do this from child's pose. I'm going to have you do it from box pose today. So get sturdy, right? Be careful with how you go into this, but bring your left elbow down to the left block, the right elbow down to the right block, and then allow for your palms to come together like prayer hands, and take your thumb to the nape of your neck. chest kind of sink down as you press your bottom slightly back. Now just gazing down towards the ground. Pay attention to what's happening in your neck. If you need to take a little bit of a tuck of the chin, but breathe. Keep pulling your low belly in and up so your low back is supported, it's safe. Might get a little sticky here, so kind of move around if you need to. Three more breaths. Slowly release your hands from your neck. Press down into one elbow so you can bring the opposite palm to the earth, and then you have both hands to the ground. You can slide your blocks away for a moment. You'll use them again in a little bit. Take an inhale here, and then take child's pose as you exhale. So hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward and let your forehead come down. Relax your shoulders back away from your ears. And you can roll your forehead from side to side here if that's what feels appropriate to you. And then you'll come back through center. Take an inhale, walk your hands forward. On the exhale, walk your hands all the way over to the left and get a side body stretch. Allow for the forehead to continue to drape towards the ground. And then really feel as you inhale, let your right shoulder pull away from your right hip. Bow out through your rib cage. And then as you exhale, let it soften down. Inhale, breathe into all the stickiness in the right side ribs. And exhale, let it all go. You got one more. Inhale, keep your right hip pulling back and down. And exhale. On your inhale, walk your hands through center. And as you exhale, walk them over to the right, thumb next to thumb, forehead down. Now as you inhale, really open up through the left side body. And on the exhale, let your rib cage close back down. Inhale, really press your left palm down, pull your left hip back. And exhale, let that go. Last one, inhale. And exhale. On the inhale, walk your hands back through center. And as you exhale, press up into your box pose. Stack your joints and everything once again. Now you're more than welcome to keep your blocks close by in case you want to use them here in a moment. But as you inhale, press your right heel back, so into your 3-point balance. Your right leg is lifted at hip height. Dial your right pinky toe down and zip your low belly in and up. Now when you're ready, you could take your left arm forward. Reach your left fingertips towards the front of your mat, your right heel towards the back of your mat. And then on your exhale, knee to elbow, just one time for today. Inhale to re-extend. Now as you exhale, bring your left hand down. On the inhale, press your right heel back. And then as you exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. This is where I'm going to grab my blanket. And then slide your left knee back. So you can have blocks here, right? Framing your front foot. Actually not framing, you're going to have both hands to the inside of your front foot, but you can still have blocks underneath them if you choose. Open up your chest, broad collarbones. Your right knee starts off as a 90-degree angle, right? So just be here. If you don't need the blocks, just slide them out. Move them away. Good. Now pull your heart forward. This is your inhale. And then shift your hips back, straighten your right leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. So this is different from a traditional half split because both of your hands are on the inside of your right foot. Flex your toes back towards the shin and keep pulling the right hip back, the left hip forward. Now on your inhale, come back forward, take your heart forward. Maybe you lift your gaze, lift your chin. On the exhale, shift yourself back, straighten your right leg and flex your toes towards your shin. On the inhale, let's take it one more time. Bend into your front knee, take your heart forward. And then on the exhale, shift yourself back and hold for a couple of breaths. Relax your face. Soften your jaw. And then as you inhale, slowly come back forward. And on the exhale, curl up your back toes. Lift your back knee and step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Heels in, toes out. It's a wide malasana, yogic squat. Hands to your heart. You can kind of rock side to side here. Lift your chest. Keep breathing. Good, y'all. If you feel this in your low back at all, remove the pressure of your upper arms pressing into your inner thighs. If you feel great and you need a little bit more sensation, take your upper arms and really press into your inner thighs and create an opposing force. Lift your chest, broad collarbone, soft face. You could slide a block underneath you if you need something like that. You can take it on any height. I think sometimes the highest one is a little bit wobbly to me. So whatever it is that feels good to you. And then when you're ready, hands to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips. On the exhale, turn your toes to 12 o'clock, but leave your feet separated. Bend your knees deeply and grab onto opposite elbows with your hands and go into your rag doll. Let the crown of your head hang down. And if that doesn't feel completely comfortable, you could slide your hands underneath your blocks and stay at kind of a halfway lift. We are trying to stretch the hamstrings. So if you can get your chest to drape on top of your thighs and your gaze to go in between the calves, that would be ideal. And then as you're ready, let your hands come down to the ground. Inhale to a halfway lift. Bring your feet closer together. Exhale, chest to your thighs. Let it all go. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. Look up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center and just be for a second. Yeah? Breathe. Relax your shoulders back and down. And then inhale, reach your arms out and up. Look up. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. On the exhale, step your feet back. You're in your high plank. Hold for just a moment and then soften your knees down to the ground. And let your chest come all the way down to the earth. Forehead down. Hands are just outside of your chest. Pubic bone and your 10 toenails are on the ground. Inhale, peel your chest up and roll your shoulders back. And then exhale, melt yourself back down. Inhale to lift one more time. And then exhale, tuck-toed child's pose. Tuck your toes underneath you, hips to your heels. Stretch out your feet. Good. Stay right here for 5. Breathe in and know that you're breathing in. Breathe out and know that you're breathing out. And then press back up into your box pose when you're ready. On the inhale, take your left leg back behind you. Lift it to hip height. Pull your low belly in and up. And then reach your right arm forward when you're ready. It's just one time through. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, knee to your elbow. Crunch it in. Inhale to open. Exhale, your right hand down. Inhale, press your left leg long. On the exhale, step your left foot outside of your left hand so you know the drill. You can bring hands onto your blocks inside of your left foot, or you can bring your hands down to the ground. Allow for the stretch of your right frontal hip and let your heart pull forward rather than collapsing down, right? Maybe you close down your eyes and just breathe. inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, shift yourself back, straighten your left leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. On the inhale, slowly come back forward. On the exhale, hips back, lizard half split. Last one, inhale, maybe lift your chin, lift your gaze, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, hips back, straighten your left leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. Walk yourself forward with your inhale, curl your back toes, lift your back knee. Right foot outside of your right hand as you exhale, heels in, toes out. We're not here for a super long time, it's just a transition. Lift your chest as you inhale. Mula Bandha as you exhale. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone and lift. Hands to the ground, inhale, hips high. Exhale, feet together, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. On the exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So I just want this to be a soft stretch and it's to prep us for something that's coming here in a moment. But root down into the four corners of your right foot and grab your left ankle. And I don't care if you grab onto like the furniture that's around you. I just want you to get a baby stretch of your left quad. Yeah, so pull your belly in, knee to knee, flex or point, whatever feels better to you. And then let your left foot come down, shake it out. Root down into the four corners of your left foot. Grab your right ankle, knee to knee. Maybe you flex your foot, maybe you point. I prefer flex because it feels better on my knee, but you know you. Take an inhale. And then let it soften down as you exhale. All right, inhale, reach your arms out and up, look up. Exhale to forward fold, chest to your thighs. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Step your feet back, lower to your knees, lower to your belly. And then inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Exhale to your box pose, your child's pose. Tuck your toes, hips to your heels. And then bring your knees and your feet together. Drape your chest on top of your thighs. Now start to walk your hands back. Lift your knees, divide your knees, but leave your feet together. And come into this low malasana, low garland's pose. It's kind of like a toe stand at the same time, because your heels are probably lifted, right? If you can bring your heels down, do it, yeah. If it feels better to leave the heels slightly lifted as the knees come out. And some of you might even come all the way down to the forearms. Bring your forehead down to the ground. Find the space that works for you and breathe into it. Slowly bring your knees back down to the ground. Lift your hips. Now, if you need to roll out your ankles real quick, do that. Some of you might take a block or something else. I'm going to offer for you to curl your toes underneath you and for you to sit on your heels to stretch out your feet. So if that doesn't feel great, I don't know about a cork block. It might feel kind of hard, but if you have a foam block, you could always put a block in between your, say your bottom and your heels, right? Actually, it doesn't feel bad. I was thinking I would need a foam one, but, and just see how that feels, yeah? It's a little bit different than whenever you let your bottom rest on your ankles, on your heels. I just want you to be here. Roll your shoulders back. If it gets to be too much, I understand, I get it. Take a break. But if you can stay right here with me, lift your chest, let your hands rest in your lap, and find ease in something that actually is not very easy. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Try 2 more breaths. And slowly come forward. Release the block out from underneath you. Bring your hands to the ground, kind of like for a box pose, and then roll out your ankles. Okay? Good, y'all. Now from here, curl up your toes. Lift your hips and press up into a downward facing dog. Your hips feel high, your chest in towards your thighs. Maybe your heels feel heavy and go down towards the ground. Take an inhale here. You're going to lift your right leg, or as you exhale, just step it forward and then meet your left to the outside of your left hand. Now this is a wide yogic squat. Drop your hips down. You've been here before. So heels and toes out. Bring your hands to heart. I want to warm up your inner thighs and quadriceps one last time before we move into something else. So as you inhale, straighten your legs and lift your arms up. You're only doing 3 of these. Exhale, sit yourself back down. You can always use blocks or not come all the way down. Inhale, press your feet down, lift yourself up. Exhale, soften yourself down. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, come back down. Now you're just going to lift yourself up at this point. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Now come to your wall or your piece of furniture and turn around. All right, inhale, reach your arms out and up, look up. On the exhale, forward fold, chest to your thighs. Inhale, walk yourself out to your down dog. And then exhale, chest in towards your thighs, let your heels get heavy. So now you are facing towards the back of your mat if you set up the way I did. Take your time. Inhale, roll to the balls of your feet. And then exhale, soften down to your knees and your shins. I would recommend grabbing your blocks for this part. So I'm also going to grab my little blanket here. Take yourself back to where your feet touch your either wall or your piece of furniture, okay? And to start with, take your left leg forward as if you were going to go into a low lunge. Now take the top of your foot, so I'm going to have to move back. So actually, let's do it this way. Bring your right knee down to the ground, and you want your shin and the top of your foot to kind of press into your wall or your piece of furniture. And then take your left leg forward. That's going to give you a better idea of how close to the wall you need to be. So here, I have my hands on my blocks. You might be staying right here the entire time, right? This could be a lot. Like I feel it on my right thigh all the way up to my hip. Roll your shoulders back and down. Get acclimated, yeah? It is possible to bring your knee even farther back or closer to your furniture or your wall to where it's flush, right? Where it's actually up against it. And you're breathing here. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. And then some of you might actually take your hands to your left knee, your left thigh. Relax your shoulders back and down. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Pull your belly in and up. It's possible to take your arms up overhead. Yeah? I really want you to get that top part of your right leg. We've got 5 more breaths right here before we add on. Your left knee is a 90-degree bend. You're probably going to notice that as you're here breathing, you can go a little bit deeper. You start to open up a little bit more. It's been a long time since I've done this stretch. So it's humbling, for sure. Take your last one. Now, if you like, you bring your left block into the inside of your left leg. So now you're like in a lizard variation. Pull your heart full. You could bring your blocks to the ground and come down to your forearms. Okay, so it's just an option. If that does something weird or pulls on your right knee, I want you to cease and desist. Yeah? So I'm going to move into a flexed right foot because it feels better to me. So my toe pads are pushing up into the furniture. You can stay right here. You could even come into rolling your left knee out. So as you can see, this is also kind of prep for like a crooked monkey, right? There should be no pain. It might be really uncomfortable. And let your left hand come back down. Press yourself back up to where you're on your blocks on your hands. Bring your left knee to the ground and then meet it with your right. Sit down on your heels for a moment. Relax your shoulders back and down and lift your chest. Awesome, y'all. Very nicely done. Now from here, back up, lift your hips. You can bring your hands to your blocks right away if you need to. Walk yourself back. You want to feel your feet against your wall or your furniture. And then lift your left knee and slide it back so that the top of your left foot is pressing into whatever it is that you're using. Yeah? And then you're going to press down into your blocks or to the ground. Some of you probably have your hands on the ground and it's perfect. And we start off. Take your right foot forward and create a 90-degree bend with your right foot and frame your foot with your hands or your blocks. Pull your heart forward. Good. And you're breathing. Roll your shoulders back and down. You can bring your blocks up higher. Right? It's always a place to go, a place to stay. And then I kind of gently tuck my pelvis forward so that it really stretches the top of my left leg, my whole quad. And breathe, y'all. Keep squeezing at the base of your pubic bone so you're supporting your low back, supporting your whole spine. You could bring your hands on top of your right leg. So I think they call this a King Arthur stretch or something like that. Yeah, I guess because you look like a knight. You could reach your left arm up, match it with your right. Good, y'all. Three more breaths in whatever it is that you're doing. It's okay if it starts to feel sticky, if it starts to feel stuck. Breathe into that and notice how it will get unstuck. Yeah? Let your hands come back down to your blocks. You can slide your right block to the inside of your right foot and then wiggle your right foot over. So you come into a lizard variation. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper on, a little bit lower on my block levels. Walk my right foot forward slightly and begin to hinge forward slightly. Lift your chest. At this point, I come onto the toe pads of my left foot. It feels better for my kneecap. But man, it's really opening up through the front side of my left leg. Breathe. Lay your right knee open if you want. When you're ready, let your right foot come back down to the mat. Your right knee points forward. I bring my blocks back up a little bit. Yeah. And then you press down, bring your right knee to the ground. And then your left knee follows it. Sit your hips onto your heels. Relax your shoulders back and down and just get acclimated for a moment. You could also go into a child's pose if that feels better, right? So stay lifted if you like it. Fold over your legs if you need it. Relax your shoulders back and down. All right, y'all. You're here at your support, or whatever it is that you're using behind you. I'm going to have you come forward and then turn around and sit down, facing whatever it is that you were using. So if it's your bed or your couch or your wall or your piece of furniture. So I'm actually going to give you two options. We're going to take legs up the wall here, but we're doing several things from there. Some people prefer to move up to it like with their bottom and their hip against it so that you know how close you need to be. And then from here, coming down and sliding the legs up as you kind of roll towards it. Or you can just sit down and then scoot and wiggle your bottom to wherever it is that you need to go. So let your back come down to the earth. So I just have to go ahead and scoot anyway. So it's all good. And let your feet go up into the sky. So this is your waterfall, your legs up the wall. Well, you're truly taking it legs up the wall today, right? So ideally your bottom is flush with whatever it is that you are pressing up against. Now if you are against your bed or a couch, just fold your legs at the knee. So bend your knees and let your calves rest on your bed or on your couch, right? You don't have to leave the feet in the sky unless it feels good to you. Relax your shoulders from your ears. You can take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Or you can just take your hands down to the ground. Really breathe here, y'all. Tapping in, allowing the blood to kind of rush away from the feet for a little bit. Wiggle out the toes. From here, cross your right ankle over your left knee and let your right knee just hang out. So you're in a figure four. Guys, if that's what feels good, stay right there. If you want to go a little bit deeper, slide your left heel down and bend your left knee, and you're in kind of a using the wall half pigeon. Yeah, and you're going to notice that your left foot doesn't come all the way down in alignment with the left knee unless you scoot away from the support. And just be here. Yeah, you could interlace your fingers around your left hamstring. Nuzzle your right forearm into your right inner thigh. Flex your right foot softly. held on to the back of your left leg. Slowly release and slide your left heel back to straight, so your leg is now straight. And then release your right leg next to the left, so your back and legs up the wall. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right knee. Let your left knee just open out. You can stay right here. Start to slide your right heel down, bending into your right knee. It's that move that's more coming into like your reclined half pigeon, right? You could interlace your fingers around your right hamstring, nuzzle your left forearm to your left inner thigh. This side definitely feels tighter for me, which did not used to be the case. So acknowledge the fact that your body changes constantly, which is why it's so important to be mindful and intentional with your movements, with your breath, with your rest. So that you notice how you show up. Gently start to slide your right heel back up so that your right leg goes straight, and you can release your left leg next to the right. So you're back in your traditional legs up the wall. I'm going to invite you to take your legs out wide. So like into a wide split, yeah? And then just be here, and they don't have to go as wide as mine do. Okay, so find your space. Breathe here. You'll notice that the legs, keep your feet flexed as well, but you'll notice that as they're there, the gravitational pull of your legs down. You'll go a little bit wider. Yeah. About 5 more breaths here. And then you might use your hands outside of your thighs to bring your legs back up. And hug your knees in towards your chest. So your feet might kind of press against your support. And then roll over to the side that feels better to you, so that you can press up nice and slow. And now slide yourself back over to your mat. Feet towards your support, and then come all the way down. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Open your arms out to a T. And drop your knees to the right and turn your face to the left. You inhale one knee at a time through center. And then exhale, drop your knees to the left and turn your face to the right. Inhale, bring your knees back through center. On the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest and round your forehead up to your knees. Relax your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale. And then open up to your shavasana as you exhale. Let your legs hang comfortably open. Your arms can rest on the belly or your hands can come down by the side body. Close down your eyes and rest. What you need is to be here a little bit longer than just tune me out and stay right where you are. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reach your arms up overhead and find a full body stretch. And on your exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shin. And you can rock to the right or roll up to your comfortable, easy sit just right where you are. Relax your shoulders back and down. Your hands can rest in your lap or on your knees. So you take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for this practice, for the fact that you chose to show up, because that is 90% of your success. Just showing up. Yeah. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for unrolling your mat with me. Namaste.